Everybody, welcome. Today we're going to do Metal Man by Tangent Comics. This is a one-shot made by Ron Marz, McKone, and McKenna. Now, what is Tangent Comics? Now, Tangent Comics is, as far as I know, a failed experiment by DC Comics. This was a multiverse before, well, the multiverse we are now. And DC tried, have certain heroes, change them all and put them in a comic and, make stories about them. I don't have everything. I got a couple of Tangent Comics, but it never took off. I believe it was just a handful of issues before they, go back to the regular DC Comics. Maybe there was the intent. I do not know, unfortunately, the whole story about this whole Tangent thing. It was very brief. But, I picked up a couple of comics and, so let's dive in. So we start here at the White House, and there's a couple of, activists here, fighting as they are doing always. And we have also purple-haired activists, because that's what... Okay, moving on. Anyway, so we are meeting with the president, and he is getting, I believe, a visit from a reporter, and her name is Lori Lemaris. Now, old season veterans of DC Comics knows who Lori Lemaris is in DC Comics. She was a love interest of Superman, and she was a mermaid, if I remember correctly, and she is interviewing the president about something, but she says that she, I quote, "As you know, World Finest is a magazine dedicated to heroes, and while many Americans see you as a hero in your role as president, this article is going to focus on your illustrious military career. Specifically, I'd like to talk to you about you when you're with your service with the Special Forces Detachment A5. Which I think the most people known as Metal Man. So yeah, this is, I believe they did missions in the 70s or early 70s and 60s. And then they end up Czechoslovakia. I believe that was the last mission. So he talks about it, that were going there. Now, for a 70s era, this looks pretty... advanced when it comes to, I don't know, clothes and maybe weaponry. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, not a weapon expert, but it does not look really like 70s weapon. Maybe it does. Anyway, doesn't matter. So they are at the front, and it seems that the Soviets overrun Czechoslovakia in a matter of weeks, and they dropped some bombs here and there, and then they found out that the Czechs' resistance captures a warhead that is undetonated. So they were sent out to retrieve it, to use as a leverage to make peace, etc. So they are busting in, and they are waiting for a contact called Raven. And we're getting introduced to these people. Well, this is the president. He's called Sam. This is Mark. And then we have other guys like Gravedigger, Lobo, Black Lightning, and Hawkman, which is a little bit ironic because the recent Hawkman in Black Adam movie is black. I'm going to watch that tomorrow, by the way. So they are waiting, but then they hear a sound, and one of these guys think, hey, this is going to take too long. We're being set up. I don't trust it. And then a giant tank bursts through, and it looks freaking fantastic. Mike McKone, the artist, is very, very good. Look at this. I told you about splash pages, right? And especially double spread. This is what I meant. Splash pages, again, is meant to wow you, to impress you, to say, holy shit, what is this? Or maybe it looks cool. Well, I'm not disappointed at all. Anyway, moving on. So they're having, shooting at each other, and it goes on a little bit. But then the Soviets are aiming their cannons at them. I'm not sure, but it seems I have a feeling that the Soviets are not very capable of hitting, and it reminds me of the stormtroopers in Star Wars. They shoot a lot, but they don't hit anything, and I'm coming back to that a little bit later. So the tank is aiming and shooting, and again, this looks great. And again, they need to get out of here because, well, they are defenseless against a tank, but not really, because one of them, I mean, this is Mark, by the way, I guess. Is this Mark or is this Sam? These names, man, are always forgetting. Just let me check real quick. Marcus, Sam. Okay, so this is Marcus. He has a grenade and, I don't know, say something in Russian. And then, yeah, it blows up. And again, look at this. This just looks great, spectacular. A lot of detail. Great colors, by the way. So, but then one of these subjects are still alive, and he's getting shot in the face before Sam is being shot by him, and she is being saved by a woman called Raven. You know, probably a more nudge to Teen Titans Raven, I guess. But you know, Marcus doesn't trust her. He says about. Well, basically, they're having a little bit chit-chat here and there, and Sam says, hey, well, we need to trust her. She saved my life. And Marcus said, well, you are a little bit gullible, and this is all a setup, etc. But then she said, I don't trust her. I keep my eye on her. Okay? So they're leading... oh, by the way, this is a nice... well, nice, not really nice. Why am I saying that? Forget it. Anyway, so she hears the sound... And I forgot to mention that Gravedigger here earlier. Let me check if I can find it. Oh yeah, he is calling air support for Captain Kangaroo. Now, I believe this is a more nudge to Captain Boomerang. And, you know, Kangaroo, Australia... Boomerangs. Do you get it? I'm not making this up. I mean, it's here. That's what I think. You know, it's just a little bit on the nose. Anyway, so say welcome to hell, and it seems that hell is more like a refugee camp for, I don't know. It's been excavated, these sewers, and there's freedom fighters and wounded people, etc., etc. So Marcus wants to talk to Sam. And he says, you look like you were in a hurry to buy into her story. Don't get too chummy with our little resistance fighter. And then Sam says, I learned to trust my gut, Mark. She feels right to me. But you're still suspicious, even after seeing all this. I've seen this all before, Sam. So have you, in a dozen places around the world. Just because a bunch of refugees... look at her like she's Joan of Arc doesn't mean she's one of us. You're wrong on this one. Am I? How do you think our base in Pilsen was destroyed there? There's a rat in the nest, and I believe there's a Soviet soldier probably hiding. So Marcus says, it could be just well as it could just be. It could just as well be her, Sam. I prefer not to end this mission with a bullet in the back of the head. For God's sake, Mark, stop being so melodramatic. Let's get over with the mission, or this mission over with. Yeah, the mission, he says. So Sam wants to, learn more about Raven. So he is doing the talk about, hey, talk about a little bit about yourself. But Raven, cold-hearted as she is, she says, my father was a poet. The Soviets detained him when I was 9. I never saw him again. My mother was forced into a marriage with a party official who beat her. She killed herself when I was 15. Anything else you want to know? It says, no. So she's leading him to where the warhead is. And it's still active. So they want to bring them with them. But then Marcus says... Sam says, let's get the warhead out of here and packed up so we can moving. No, Sam. No, he says. Change of plans, says Marcus. And, well, Marcus says, why don't we reactivate the warhead and send it to Russia right in front of their doorstep? The war will be end immediately. Marcus says, are you crazy? Because if they do that, there will be millions upon millions, innocent lives will be lost. So these guys having a hard discussion about, morals, etc. And they are going to be divided. So they are going to be canceled. One of them says, hey, I listen to Marcus because I'm just getting paid doing my job, while the others have, no, we should take it back. And yeah, they have quarrels with each other, and it's not going well. But before, and they are accusing each other, but yeah, you don't have the stomach, and you are always weak, stuff like that. I like that. There's a little bit of confrontation here and there. But then I believe something's happening because this guy is getting shot. He's still alive, by the way. Small spoiler. Because the Russians are in, and I told you about before, about Russians, bad shooters, because they are coming in, but nobody's shooting yet, which is strange. I mean, normally if you are just here at the front of the gate or whatever, of a door, you just start shooting the enemy. Maybe they thought, hey, we're going to overrun them and capture them, and maybe because they're a little bit careful because of the warhead. Could be, but they're going to shoot anyway. And as you can see here, a lot of close-ups, shooting. Nobody's get hit. Well, they get hit, but not deadly. They get hit in the legs. They get hit in the arms. Except for this guy, he says, "I'm a mess. Hang on, man." Actually looks great. Again, here as well, it's close-up shots. Raven gets shot. This guy's getting shot, I guess. And but then we're gonna pause because our president, Sam, needs a minute because it's a little bit close to home, reliving all these memories. I like that, instead of going on, just stepping back, and, we see some human side of the president. I like that a lot. Moving on. Oh man, this guy. So they won. All these Soviets are dead, and they all survived except for, well, he's still alive, but he's not looking good. So Sam turns his attention to the warhead, and Marcus, and Sam says, "Mark, what are you doing?" Getting his thing prepped to fly. "Stop. I mean it." "Or what, Sam? You're trying to tell me you're willing to shoot me in cold blood?" And man, it's getting... Oh, sorry. Tension is getting hard. So they're having a standoff, and yeah, Sam cannot do it. He says, "I can't. You never were any good at hard decisions. Sorry to have to do this, Sam. I miss you." And he also says before that, we should trying to save lives, not annihilate them. The world needs order, Sam. We can give it order, our order. If you think I'm wrong, go ahead and do something about it. And then he says he cannot do it. And then before Marcus can do anything, he's getting shot in, I believe, in the head by Raven. But then Sam lied to Laurie because he says there was a gunshot, just one, fired by a wounded Soviet. We hadn't noticed him in all the smoke. He got off one last round. Mark died in my arms. That's not true. Raven killed him. And so we go back to the president and, talk about that. So this interview is concluded. And Laurie wants to know what happened to all these other people in the Medal Man. Well, one of them is his body is now chief. What does it say? Best chief of staff. One of them is some lost touch. The other one is in a wheelchair. The other one disappeared, etc. The Metal Man broke up somehow after that. And then we get to know the First Lady, who is now known as Martina. But Martina was once called Raven. Dun, dun, dun. So yeah, she married him. And Laurie says, hey, thank you for this interview and goodbye. And then there's only 2 pages left. So they talk about what happened, about the story, about what happened in real life. And she's seen that she was in Beijing and there was a new Adam because the other one died or something and they call her Supergirl. There's some mention about the original Adam, about the Sea Devils, etc. And she says, yeah, it was never a dull moment. So how about that? How was the interview? So Sam says, I told that story often enough. I've told that story often enough. It's getting to be the only version I remember. So yeah, he probably left some stuff out. But, he says, I do wonder what would have happened if things had turned out differently. Would I be here? And Mark. He wants to know where Mark is and what happened to him. But Mark is still alive with the warhead. And he says, where would he be? Don't worry, Sam. I'm here, keeping things in order and keeping an eye on you. And that's the end of the book. There's no follow-up as far as I know. Maybe it does, because it seems that Sam is now part of a group called the Cabinet, I believe. So, yeah, this is just a one-shot, so I'm not sure there will be more comics with the Metal Man or with Sam as a villain. Maybe it does. Like I said, I don't have too much information about that. But as a standalone comic, I enjoyed this. The art looks very cool. I love the twists here and there. But it's not really, something to write home about. It's just a fun book. It's okay. It's not a 10 out of 10, But it's for a one-shot, good enough. It's entertaining for a couple of minutes on your chair or on your couch, with a cup of coffee or a cola or a glass of beer. Yeah, why not? Or a hot cup of coffee, whatever you want. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you liked the video and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.